Episode 14, Foul Play in the Sky. What's your take on this?
I picked a good day to quit drinking.
Well, much better than last two.
Yeah, it is very, very good. It's suspenseful. I'm sorry, but whenever I was looking at this situation, whenever I see the whole common person flying a plane,
well, yeah. To get to that.
I just think of airplane. You know that whole line. Is there anyone on board who knows how to fly an airplane?
Okay. Yes, plot this time. Kimberly's uncle taking them up in a plane ride. Bulk and Skull decide to mooch a ride because they've always dreamed of flying.
Which I find is a very interesting angle. I'm not being bullies. Them actually being them enforcing themselves onto the plot, but they actually become of some importance.
Kimberly doesn't want them on board, but the uncle just is like such a nice guy. Why not?
Yeah, and they don't do anything wrong at all.
They faint.
They
read this evil plot while Kimberly's in the air. Ooh, let's slip the pilot a sleeping potion.
So an actually threatening situation, because at the same time while they're doing that, she sends a monster to attack the Power Rangers.
Yep. The Slizzard. The snake lizard.
The Slizzard. And while I like that they needed the Pink Ranger, because this really does bring Kimberly into the forefront.
And it did get a nice line out of Bulk and Skull. You afraid of flying?
Nah, I'm afraid of crashing. Brilliant. Great line. Great line.
And on the Sentai footage, I don't remember the exact plot, but it wasn't like this. It was a situation where the Pink Ranger wasn't around and they needed her. I think she was like off on some other quest or something.
Yeah, and it seemed very Power Rangers light. I mean, this is much more situational.
This was a very much Power Rangers storyline. They never had an airplane thing in Sentai.
Yeah, and I think it actually works for the better here, because this is a very engaging, very interesting take. It's very fast paced. This episode went by like nothing.
Well, yeah, it was very suspenseful when the pilot does go out cold. Bulk and Skull faint, and Kimberly's just left there in air.
And that is a very terrifying experience.
Mythbusters, that was an episode once. Can that happen? Alpha talks her down to flight. Can that happen? It's never happened in history, but it could.
Yeah, it's theoretically possible.
Yes, though it is an extremely stressful situation on both ends.
Yeah, it's not a situation you'd want to be in, but it handles itself very well. Bulk, Skull, and Kimberly are kind of the most important parts of this story, although it does introduce Angela.
Zach's love interest.
Yeah, but introduces so much as she shows up.
She shows up and says, "Get real," and they're all like, "Oof, that had to hurt." I don't know. I've had worse rejections than that.
Yeah, and really, no other character
all the time.
Like, Billy doesn't even show up on screen. He's just kind of there. He doesn't say. Trini doesn't really do anything. Kimberly
Trini
talks to her at the beginning, but at the end,
she talks to her on the phone. At the end, Trini has that karate match with Stranger, and they show Jason punching a heavy bag.
Yeah,
Jason and Zach got some lines in though. They got to make some.
But really, this is Bulk, Skull, and Kimberly's story. It really focuses on them.
Bulk, Skull, and the uncle. I guess people in life's danger, and they just I think they brought in Bulk and Skull because who's going to care if just the uncle's in danger? Bulk and Skull, you do care about if something happens to them.
Right, and it does help to create a sense of... Because Alpha says, Kimberly, if you're in danger, just get out of the airplane.
Just morph out of there. Yeah, teleport out. But no, she can't do that. I think a Power Ranger's duty, if it came to that, she would have to sacrifice them to save herself.
Yeah,
That's kind of hard to think about, though.
Yeah, and I don't think they wanted to think about that. So, ultimately... This is a very strong episode.
Yes.
What is your opinion on it?
I don't know. I'm trying to think what's really wrong with it, other than the wah-wah-wah ending.
Well, yeah, I mean...
Yeah, kind of a wasted opportunity.
That does bring up the only problem I have with it, and that's ultimately how it resolves itself with Bulk and Skull. I personally think Bulk and Skull should have been, like, the bigger people... And, thanked Kimberly for saving them. And really, it looked like they were going to. And then they just kind of get,
Milkshake falls on them.
Milkshake.
This strange guy's complimenting Kimberly, saying how awesome she is, and Jason and Zach are making fun of them and accidentally knock milkshakes on Bulk and Skull.
Yeah, I think it would have been really cool if they hadn't interrupted and it turned out that they just thanked Kimberly. And they're bullies, but at the same time...
They're human.
Yeah, they're human. And so there's a level of appreciation that could be there. Mm. I think Bulk and Skull are definitely the most engaging characters.
They showed off some pretty high and low acting in this episode, like when they were freaking out in the plane. And this was one of the episodes we didn't joke through. We didn't crack jokes through. Like when Kimberly was this close to landing and he had all the suspenseful music.
Yeah.
We were just there silently watching.
Yeah, because you're not exactly sure what's going to happen. So, ultimately, I think, given how everything's going, I want to give this a 5 out of 5.
Really?
I enjoyed the episode. I would want to watch it again. And I can't really think of anything inherently wrong with the episode that would take away from it. I think that this is probably one of the best one-offs.
Yeah, as a one-off. Though you have a rule against no 5s for one-offs.
Well, no, because...
Not anymore.
Well, no, because I had the deaf plot, or the deaf...
Deaf Girl, yeah.
The Deaf Girl episode, I gave a 5 out of 5.
And we almost did for Happy Birthday, Zach.
And we almost did for Happy Birthday, Zach. And, even if it's a one-off, if it's a good episode, if it's worthy of a 5, it should be given a 5. And I think this was.
Alright then, 5. Just because there was a lot of effort put into this one, you could say.
Yeah.
Although it's not the most original story in the world. This is the plane crashing.
Oh, no, it's the same. It's a plot right out of the movie Airplane.
But at least it wasn't too shameful with that.
Yeah,
And, spiking a drink, spiking a pilot, that's out there. So what's next?
Next is episode 15, Dark Warrior.
Who cares about that? What's the next one? I'm just kidding, we're not gonna skip that episode, but...
Wait, what?
We're not gonna skip 15, but read the next one.
Switching Places.
Really?
Yep.
Oh no, we're behind. Oh no, there's more than we thought.
Oh no! We're gonna have to wait to get to...
See you next time, bye!